FAUST by Niel Thompson. Act 1. Interior, palace, night. Amarit, woman, ancient monster wearing a mask, and her ward, male teenager, are standing in a throne room.
Queen Amarit, the rebellion is headed this way. We cannot stop them.
How dare they? They will pay for their insolence.
I don't think so.
Belle, woman, late teens, dressed in a robe and carrying a staff, appears in the throne room.
Who are you? How did you get in here?
I am known as Belle.
I know that name. You're the one responsible for this little rebellion.
Amarit the damned, scourge and unclean. You are responsible for your own downfall. Sooner or later, your subjects would have overpowered you. I just let it be sooner rather than later.
You missed a few titles, and now you shall die.
A slit in the mouth of Amarit's mask opens. Nothing happens.
Nice try, but I'm a wizard, and we've learned how to protect ourselves from your kind.
Belle's staff glows and Amarit is launched into her throne. The ward is ready with a knife.
I wouldn't if I were you, young man. I'm not sure what the source of your mad devotion to her is, but she is a monster, and she needs to be taken care of.
She's not a monster. She is a god.
She's no god. She's a parasite, and this world no longer needs her. Humanity is rising up and banishing the old gods. Be careful of which side you choose.
Leave me, boy. You've been a good servant. Take whatever treasure you want.
As you wish, mistress.
The ward leaves.
That was generous of you.
Even I can be merciful to those loyal to me.
You murdered thousands.
I'm about to murder one more.
Amarit breaks Belle's spell and jumps out of her throne. Belle's staff glows again, and Amarit is pulled to the ground.
Simply change the direction of your velocity. Now then, death is too good for someone like you. I think a living death would be a more appropriate punishment.
Belle pulls out an orb from her robe. She taps the orb with her staff. Amarit screams as her soul leaves her body and enters the orb, changing its color.
You will never hurt anyone again.
The door to the palace opens and the peasants come storming in. A man comes towards Belle.
What happened to her? Is she dead?
In a manner of speaking, do with the body as you like. I'll be taking this with me.
She may have been a monster, but she was still a queen. We will give her the burial rites owed to her, but nothing more. There will be no treasures in her tomb, and no pyramid built to honor her.
Sounds good to me.
Belle leaves the peasants as they take Amarit's body. Exterior, desert, morning. Belle is waiting in the sand with the orb. Melchior, man, 60s, dressed in a robe and carrying a staff, comes up to Belle and puts his hand on her shoulder.
So, how did it go?
Master Melchior, here is the soul.
Very good. Even some of the masters are too afraid to take this assignment. But you did it, and you succeeded.
She wasn't that difficult.
No, you were just that good.
Thank you, Master.
I am no longer your master.
You mean?
Even before this mission, you have more than proven yourself. It may not be a popular decision, but no one can question your worthiness now.
Belle gets down on one knee. Melchior taps Belle's shoulders with his staff.
By the power invested in me as your master, I bestow to you the rank of wizard. You are no longer an apprentice. You are now a full member of our order. From this moment on, you will have all the privileges and responsibilities that come with that title.
Belle stands up and hugs Melchior.
Thank you, Father.
You are the first female wizard. How does that make you feel?
You know what they'll say.
I will always be here for you.
Belle holds up the orb.
Let's put this somewhere safe.
Agreed.
Do you think it's going to catch on?
Will what catch on?
Female wizards. Am I going to be the only one?
Once the dam breaks, everything gets flooded. Trust me, there will be more.
Interior, car, night. Abby, Girl, late teens, wearing a prom dress, is driving a car down a highway. She's crying. The Oracle, woman, late 40s, appears next to her. The Oracle is covered in blood. Abby sees the Oracle and screams.
Keep your eyes on the road, dear.
Oh, I've lost it. I finally snapped.
I'm a projection from the future. I meant to find you at a point in your life where this sort of thing wouldn't confuse you.
There's a point in my life where I would not be upset by a strange woman covered in blood appearing next to me.
Yes. Listen, I don't have much time, so I'm just going to have to tell you as you are now.
Tell me what?
I know what happened to you. You made a choice that shattered probability. The choice that brought you here. The choice that brings you to Faust. When you did that, you became a variable.
Variable of what?
You must remember what I told you. Please, remember and tell my sister.
The Oracle vanishes. Abby wakes up. She has covered herself in a blanket, and her car has been pulled over to the side of the road.
Right. Just a weird dream then.
Exterior, apartment, night. Abby is carrying 2 large bags over her shoulders as she leaves her car and knocks on the door. The door opens, and the landlord, male, early 50s, answers.
And you are?
Abby Johnson?
You said you wouldn't be here for a few months or so.
Well, there's been a bit of a change in plans.
Well, you're lucky. You had a tenant move out a week ago. The person whose room you were going to take is still here.
As long as I have a place to sleep, that's fine with me.
What happened? Your boyfriend dumped you?
Something like that. Can I come in? It's cold, and this dress isn't well insulated.
The landlord opens the door, and Abby enters. Interior, apartment, continuous. Abby follows the landlord through the apartment.
Thank you for being understanding.
I'll understand anything as long as you can afford it. I'll have to charge you rent for this month, you know.
I have the money for it.
You can pay it next week. How many months can you pay for?
Well, it sort of depends.
Just this month and maybe the next then.
My savings are in a bank which doesn't have a branch out here, and that's gonna take a while to get access to. It shouldn't take me long to get a job.
Abby and the landlord reach the door to Abby's room.
My sister runs an employment agency. It's close by. You should go there tomorrow.
Thank you. Why are you being nice to me?
I've been down on my luck, lost everything. If you can't make rent, I can't be kind to you.
I know.
So make your rent, preferably on time.
The landlord opens the door and Abby goes in. Interior, employment agency, day. Abby is in front of a desk. Sitting on the other side of the desk is a receptionist.
What do you mean you can't find me anything?
There just isn't anything available right now for someone of your skill set.
I worked at McDonald's for 3 years. You're telling me there are no jobs in fast food right now?
Not at the moment, although if anything opens up, we'll let you know.
Look, I'll take anything. If there's any job that I can do, I'll do it.
Well, there is one.
What is it?
It is as a detective's assistant.
What, like a secretary? I could probably do that.
This job listing has been open for a while, but whenever we send someone down there, they usually quit in a day or two.
Why?
The detective you would be working for is Amelia Faust. She's a little weird.
Define weird, please.
She's into the occult. She has books on vampires, mummies, werewolves, you name it.
Is that it? I had some friends who were Wiccan. That shouldn't be a huge issue for me.
Just know that I warned you. I'll call her up and arrange an appointment for tomorrow.
Thank you. I look forward to meeting her.
Exterior, alley, day. Faust, woman, early 30s, is chasing down a thief, man, late 20s.
Stop! You really should stop!
Exterior, crowded street, continuous. The thief runs into a crowd and changes his appearance. He now looks like a completely different person. He smiles as he wanders through the crowd. Exterior, alley, continuous. As the thief goes into the alley, he turns back, sees that he isn't being followed, and relaxes.
Did you really think that would work?
Faust is waiting in the alley for the thief.
What? How do you know what I am?
Faust pulls out a collapsible staff and twirls it. The thief sees holographic projections of his DNA.
Tracking down a shapeshifter is usually impossible, but advances in science have made it easier.
You're a wizard. I didn't think there were any left.
Though there aren't supposed to be any more shapeshifters, so that's two things that shouldn't exist that do.
DNA and fingerprints mean nothing to us.
Normally, yes, but you see, you guys have a unique little allele that allows you to change everything else but stays the same, and is unique for each shapeshifter. So all I have to do is look for that signature, and I can find you no matter what form you take.
No one will believe you. You'll never be able to get anyone to convict me.
Yeah, I don't really care about that. As you said, I'm a wizard. We have our own rules for dealing with the supernatural.
The thief gets scared and pulls out a knife.
Oh no, a knife. My one weakness.
Faust points to her staff.
Magic. I have that.
Faust's staff flashes. The thief looks at his knife as it falls apart in his hands. The thief gets on his knees.
Please. Don't kill me.
Faust holds up a picture.
You're going to turn back into this form, and you're going to accompany me to the police station.
The thief complies and turns into the form on the picture.
Good. Now let's get going.
Interior, police station, day. Police officers are escorting the thief away. Faust is talking to Donovan, male, late 30s.
You know, we've been trying to catch this guy for months. Just when we think we've got a beat on him, we lose him. And then when he pops up again, he looks completely different.
Well, obviously he's been getting a lot of plastic surgery. I figured it would have been somewhere close to where he's been committing most of his crimes. Fortunately, I was able to find him before he could change his face again.
That was dangerous, Faust. You could have been hurt.
I got the guy. Besides, you're the one who asked me to help.
You should have called me. There's a reason we have partners in this department.
I'm not a part of this department.
But you need someone to watch your back, Faust.
This is a lonely job, Donnie. I've gotten this far on my own. I don't need anyone.
My understanding is that everyone you hire quits in about a day.
You keep tabs on me? I'm not sure if that's sweet or creepy.
When I asked you to help us track down this thief, did not mean go after him yourself. You caught him, but what if something happened? You know, if he stabbed you or shot you, who would have called you an ambulance?
I have a phone.
You have an answer for everything, don't you?
Yes.
Faust gets a call on his cell phone.
Excuse me.
Faust answers her phone.
Hello? Yes, this is Detective Faust. Uh-huh. Really? Well, I can see her tomorrow. Let's make it 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Faust hangs up her phone.
I've got an interview tomorrow for a potential assistant.
Wonder how long this one will stay.
You know the old saying, third, sixth time's the charm.
Well, now that I know you're full of crap,
Full of crap about what?
you're happy being alone.
If you need anything else, you know where to find me.
Faust leaves the station. Exterior, street, night. A middle-aged man is running through a city street at night. He looks over his shoulder as he runs. He opens his mouth and tries to scream for help, but no sound comes. The man is grabbed and pinned to the ground by hooded cultists. Jenkins, his appearance concealed by a cloak, kneels down in front of him and pulls out a glass bottle.
I'm sorry things had to end this way, but your life is being taken for a noble cause.
The cultists and Jenkins chant as the man's soul leaves his body and enters the glass bottle that Jenkins is holding.
For the great queen, Amarit.
Act 2. Exterior, Faust's office, day. Abby drives up to the building and parks her car. She gets out and checks the address with what she has written down on a piece of paper. She opens the door and goes in. Interior, Faust's office, day. The office is cluttered. Faust sits in a chair behind her desk. She sees Abby.
Ah, you must be Addie.
Abby, my name is Abby. I'm here for the job.
Well, let's see your resume.
Here it is.
Abby hands Faust her resume.
Abby Johnson, 18 years old. High school dropout.
I'm going to work on my GED.
Your only prior work experience is 3 years at McDonald's. This qualifies you to be the assistant for the great detective Amelia Faust. How exactly?
Well, I'm used to being in high pressure and very demanding situations. I'm very good at multitasking.
Well, Abby, the life of a private eye is very demanding. Are you sure that delivering burgers and fries to various unruly customers is enough preparation? What would you do if I got shot or stabbed?
I would apply pressure to the wound to prevent bleeding rather than bandage the wound.
Where would you get the bandages?
My first aid kit.
Abby reaches into her purse and pulls out a first aid kit.
I bought it this morning.
I was looking for call 911, but that's good too.
Well, I would definitely call 911. I thought that step was kind of a given, but you'd still be bleeding, and that would need to be dealt with. Why are we talking about this?
Because it's important.
Yeah, but if I'm your assistant, I'm not actually going to be out there with you when you get shot, am I?
What do you think an assistant does?
Answers phones, keeps everything organized, cleans things.
An assistant is someone who has your back.
I can do that.
You're strange.
How so?
When I asked you an odd question, you just rolled with it. It took you a while to realize the lack of normalcy.
I'm not the strangest person I've ever met.
Really? First time I've heard that.
You have any other questions?
Don't think so. You're hired.
Really? Just like that?
Well, it's not like there's a long list of applicants. Tell me, what do you know about me?
I've heard you specialize in strange cases.
And? Don't be timid. You have the job, you can be honest.
I was told you really like the occult.
The occult is a hobby, nothing more. People like to exaggerate. These rumors make it difficult for me to hire on new hands. So, how soon can you start?
Well, I could start today. It looks like you need someone to clean your office.
Tell me, Abby, how do you feel about magic?
It'd be awesome if it was real.
How would it be awesome?
You could do anything.
Faust gets a phone call. She answers the phone.
Yes, it's me. Yes? Uh-huh. Really? Yes, I'll be right down. Usual spot? See you.
Faust hangs up the phone.
Good news, we might have a case. Come on, let's go.
You want me to come with you? Shouldn't I stay here and, I don't know, make the place look nice?
If I wanted the place to look nice, I would have cleaned it up by now. Come on, I need my assistant to assist. Carry my coat and gloves for me, dear.
It's the middle of summer.
I'm not going to wear them, I just want you to carry them. It'll look cool. Now, come on.
Abby takes Faust's coat and gloves and follows Faust out the door. Interior, coffee shop, day. Donovan is sitting at a table alone, drinking coffee. Faust and Abby sit down across from him.
Hello, detective.
Hello, Faust. How are the darker, stranger parts of the world?
Entertaining. You said you had something for me?
Donovan sees Abby.
Who's she?
This is Abby. She's my new assistant. Abby, this is Detective Donovan.
I just started today.
Faust, carrying a coat around when it was hot outside did not make you look cool. Having your assistant do it doesn't make you look cool.
You're just jealous you don't have an assistant.
Yeah, a little bit.
So what do you want?
You two used to work together? Were you lovers or something?
Faust and Donovan look at Abby with contempt and disbelief.
Just thought I'd ask.
Your boss and I used to be partners.
More money in the private sector.
I've heard you're struggling a bit.
Get to the point. What do you want?
Donovan pulls out a folder and hands it to Faust.
There was a body found this morning. Museum curator by the name of Douglas Sloan. He appears to have died from a heart attack at about 11 o'clock p.m. last night.
Faust is looking at the picture. She smiles and then wears a blank expression.
This seems like a pretty open and shut case to me.
There's something else, isn't there?
Of course there is, Abby dear. So, what is it, Donnie?
Abby laughs.
Your name is Donnie Donovan?
No, my name's Steve.
You gave me a nickname. I just returned the favor. What do you have?
Donovan pulls out another folder and gives it to Faust.
There have been 3 other cases like this over the past month. All the victims were vagrants, bums, etc. All these cases have been closed, and it's probably nothing, but I'd appreciate it if you could make sure that they all are somehow connected, or related.
I'll see what I can find.
Thank you. I'll let you know if anything else comes up.
Faust and Donovan stand up and shake hands. Donovan turns to Abby.
Take care.
Donovan leaves.
So, you were a cop?
I was a detective.
I saw your face when you were looking at those pictures. You know what's going on, don't you?
I have a couple of theories. The victims were murdered.
Faust heads toward the door. Abby follows her. Exterior street, day. Faust and Abby walk towards Faust's car.
What do you mean murdered? How do you know that?
They reach the car. Faust stands and motions for Abby to open the car door. Abby misses the signal.
Well, I'm waiting for an answer.
The door. Open the door, assistant.
My hands are full.
Give them to me.
Abby hands Faust the coat and gloves.
Now open the door.
Abby opens the car door for Faust.
Thank you. Now take these, please.
Faust hands the coat and gloves back to Abby and gets into the car. Faust opens the passenger door and lets Abby in. Interior of Faust's car continues.
You didn't make me open the door for you earlier.
We weren't on a case then. We're on a case now, so you need to be in full assistant mode.
Faust starts the car and drives off.
Do I still need to pointlessly carry everything?
No, that's not important anymore.
So,
So what?
are you going to tell me why you think that curator and the others were murdered?
I don't think they were murdered. I know they were murdered.
How do you know they were murdered?
I've seen this sort of thing before. The position of our victim suggests that he was being pinned down by at least 4 people while our murderer was stealing his essence. Same for the other 3 victims.
Essence?
Well, you probably know it as soul, life energy. These people all had their life energy taken from them, probably by a cult as some sort of sacrifice.
I'm sorry, run that one by me again.
You said you'd heard about me, right?
I was told that you liked the occult, but you're talking like you believe in that stuff. Also, you said less than an hour ago that people exaggerated those rumors.
I lied. I was hoping that there would be no weird cases for a couple of days. That way you'd be settled in before being exposed to the supernatural.
I don't need the money this badly. Pull over. I quit. I'm not working for a crazy person.
Just give me one chance, Abby. I'll pay $200 if you stay with me for the rest of the day. $200 is a reasonable price for putting up with an eccentric woman like me, I think.
Faust pulls over and stops the car. Abby looks out the car window. She puts her hand on the handle of the door and moves it halfway.
You were the one that said it would be awesome if magic was real. You know I'm not a criminal. The agency may think I'm crazy, but I'm not dangerous, nor am I a crook. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep my ad.
They don't display it. There was literally nothing else available for me.
And now you've been given the chance of a lifetime. There's a world that most people don't see, a world that most people can't handle.
What makes you think I can handle it?
Despite everything you've heard, you haven't left yet. You may not believe me, but you wish that you did. You want to believe me, and that, Abby, is why I think you can handle this.
Abby turns her eyes to the door handle. She musters all her strength, but she cannot bring herself to open the door. She exhales and lets go of the door handle.
One day. I'll be your assistant for one day.
Faust tosses Abby her phone.
Do me a favor and call up Councilman Ryan.
You have city councilman on your speed dial?
Call him up and tell him that Detective Faust and her assistant are on their way to see his master.
Faust starts with the car and resumes driving. Act 3. Exterior, apartment building, day. Faust parks the car. The apartment building is old and run down. Faust and Abby get out of the car.
I'm surprised this building hasn't been condemned.
When you've got a city councilman and a few other choice people serving you, it's pretty easy to keep a place like this unnoticed and undisturbed by outside forces.
The doors creak open.
Are you scared? Yes, I'm not a coward.
Good.
They head towards the door. Interior, apartment building, day. Abby and Faust are greeted by several cultists in rows. One of the cultists motions for Abby and Faust to follow him down a series of dark corridors. Interior, apartment building, corridors, continuous. Abby and Faust talk to each other as they follow the cultist.
Are we being captured by a cult?
Captured? Of course not.
Are they?
They're thralls. Specifically, these ones are neophytes.
You mean like as in Matrix?
No, I mean as in newbies. They still think hiding their faces will keep me from finding out who they are, which is just adorable.
The cultist stops in front of a door. He motions for them to enter. Faust opens the door. Interior, apartment, Simon's lair, continuous. Abby and Faust are in a wide open room. There are large holes in the ceiling allowing light to enter. On the far side of the room, Simon sits in a chair. He is obscured by darkness.
This location is not exactly to your advantage, Simon.
It's a show of good faith, Detective. I know why you are here. You're a bit later than expected, slipping in your old age.
I'm not old, I'm 33.
You humans have such short lifespans. I'm surprised you consider 20 to be young.
Who is he and what is that smell?
That is the smell of eternity. So, Faust, you actually managed to find an assistant? She doesn't seem very sharp. You should have kept the girl I sent your way.
Did you really think I was going to fall for that?
Simon shrugs his shoulders, leaves his chair, and creeps towards Faust and Abby. His features are now visible from the residual light filling the room. He is old, and his face has bat-like characteristics.
So this cult worships the Elephant Man? Let me guess, your deformity somehow gives you psychic powers.
No, my powers come from what I am, a child of the night, and I dance in the moon.
Like a werewolf then?
No, not like a werewolf, a vampire. I'm a vampire. How could you not guess that? I look like a bat.
Sorry, I'm not much of a random rom-com fan, so you think you're a vampire?
He is a vampire. The last vampire, the only vampire left in all existence. Because of a pesky curse, he can only feed off what essence his cult gives him willingly.
What? They give him their blood?
No, younger vampires have to feed off blood. Older vampires, like Simon here, can drain the essence they need from their victims from a distance.
Oh, that's convenient. Can you prove you're a real vampire?
Prove? Prove? I am an ancient and terrifying monster. I do not have to prove anything to you.
So you're a scam artist then?
Simon transforms himself into a colony of bats, flies behind Abby, and reforms behind her with his hands around her throat. Faust pulls out her staff and points it at Simon.
Let her go, Simon. You don't want to start something with me.
I have been called many things in my long life. Murderer, monster, villain, abomination. I wear these labels with pride. Don't you dare ever call me a scam artist again.
Simon releases Abby.
You are lucky your employer and I have an understanding.
Abby slaps Simon.
Turning into bats was enough.
Simon holds his hand on his cheek. He laughs.
I take back what I said about you. I like you. If you ever want or need my help, I will give it. With a price, of course.
Faust grabs Abby and gets between her and Simon.
You know why I'm here.
You want to know about the dead people. It wasn't me. I do not hunt vermin in the streets anymore.
But you know who does, don't you?
Simon tosses some photographs on the floor.
Yes and no. I keep a lookout for a competition.
Abby, pick up the pictures, please.
Abby picks up the pictures as Faust continues pointing her staff at Simon.
There is nothing further for us to discuss. I ask that you will now leave me in peace.
You were there when the last victim was killed. Tell me what you saw.
How did you know this was happening?
A bat flies onto Simon's shoulder.
My eyes saw this man being chased in the street. It didn't take me long to get there. I did not see their faces. The man was screaming, but no sound was coming out of his mouth. That's all I know or cared to look into. The rest of it is your problem, not mine.
Don't be so small-minded, Simon. If these cultists are doing something that threatens the lives of the people of the city, it will become your problem.
Well, it isn't now.
Abby hands Faust the pictures. Faust takes them and looks at them while keeping her staff pointed at Simon.
As you can clearly see, this group uses the same store for their cloaks that we do, but they have different insignia.
Thank you, Simon. You've been a big help.
Interior, Faust's car, day. Faust is driving. She turns on some music and sings to it. Abby turns the music off.
Sorry about what happened. I didn't think he'd threaten you. I also didn't think you'd insult him so much.
He turned into bats. He physically turned into a swarm of bats and flew behind me.
Technically, he turned into a colony of bats, not a swarm.
Well, that makes everything better.
If you want to quit now, I'll understand. I'll still pay you the money I promised.
How are you friends with that guy?
We are not friends. Simon's not really a threat because of that curse I mentioned earlier.
Why would people give him their essence?
Well, in exchange for essence, Simon gives his followers boons like intelligence, power, or money. Councilman Ryan falls into the power group.
So you're fine with him having his bat colonies and powerful people?
The only benefit from Simon's gifts is if they stay within a certain radius of him. Simon also doesn't want to be noticed, so none of his followers can do anything superhuman.
How are you fine with all of this?
Faust pulls over and stops the car.
There are a few things you need to understand about the supernatural. They were once beings that ruled the earth. This isn't true anymore. Humans, while not that strong, outnumbered them and formed tribes. They learned the ways of magic and were able to fight the old ones.
Did you just say that people learned how to use magic?
Yes. I'm dramatically simplifying things for you. All you really need to understand is that there are dark forces out there, but they're on their last geriatric legs. Those of my lineage kept them back until they became myths, and as long as I draw breath, they will remain myths.
Faust starts the engine and resumes driving.
So you and your ancestors were all, what, demon hunters?
Not ancestors. When I say lineage, I don't mean bloodline. Wizards choose their successors, and when you're chosen, you become part of a greater heritage.
You're a wizard. Wait, wouldn't you be a witch?
Witchcraft and wizardry are two entirely different non-gender specific schools of magic. Male witches are witches, and female wizards are wizards. Harry Potter is a work of fiction, Abby. This is real life. You saw my staff. Do witches use staffs?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole vampire and magic thing are real.
Simon is the last vampire, and he's pretty manageable. He takes people that are thugs and vagabonds and makes them into useful, productive members of society.
Faust stops the car.
Well, here's your apartment, I think. Is this it?
Yes. Yeah, it is. How'd you find it?
Faust reaches into her glove box and pulls out a wad of cash.
Your address was on your resume, and I know this city very well. A deal's a deal. That's your $200 plus today's wages with some added overtime. Get some sleep and relax. Believe it or not, you did good. It would be nice to see you tomorrow.
Think about it.
Abby gets out of the car and goes into her apartment. Interior, Faust's office, night. Faust is on the phone and drinking some alcohol.
At the moment, there's nothing tying your victims together. I'll keep looking into it.
What's wrong, Faust?
Nothing's wrong. Everything's hunky-dory.
You only call me when you either have relevant information or you're upset. Since you told me you have nothing, that means you're upset.
Okay, maybe a little.
What's about Abby? She quit?
Not exactly. She got a little freaked out. She might come in tomorrow, she might not.
What happened?
She was introduced to my hobbies a little earlier than I planned.
I see. Well, it was going to happen sooner or later.
I was hoping for the later part. She was told about me through the agency, but she saw some of my books and that was a little much for her.
You'll be fine. I freaked out a bit, too, first, but I got to know you.
You were my partner. You had to put up with me.
She'll come back.
How are you so sure?
Just something about her. Reminds me of you. I gotta go. I'll call you in the morning.
Thank you.
Interior, Abby's apartment, night. Abby is lying on her bed. She pulls out a copy of Harry Potter.
This is the sort of thing you dreamed about as a kid.
Abby gets out of bed and paces around the room.
It's dangerous. It's really dangerous. That vampire could kill you.
Abby sits down on her bed.
What's the alternative? You need a job. You can't go home ever again. And including the money in your inaccessible bank account, you won't have enough for a few months' rent.
Abby gets into bed and pulls the covers over her head.
That's right. It's summer, and it's really hot.
Abby gets out of the covers and lies on top of them.
Everything about this is crazy. You know what's even crazier? You've begun talking out loud to yourself for a while now. Not like there's anyone else to talk to. Let's face it, Faust may be strange, and this job is a lot more dangerous than you'd like, but she's the only person in the world right now who wants you.
Act 4, Interior, Faust's office, morning. The office is empty. Abby opens the door and rushes in, slamming the door behind her.
I'm here. I'm ready to fight the forces of darkness.
Abby realizes she's alone. Faust opens the door and walks in, whistling.
Hey, you're here. You're early.
Your office hours are 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yes, I know.
It's 8:30. I thought coming on time would make me seem desperate.
My office hours are more of a guideline than a strict rule. I like to sleep in, but I also feel like a slob if I wake up after 12. Anyway, well, welcome back.
Why was the door unlocked? Did you leave it unlocked all night?
I have a small spell I put on the office. People who want to enter with criminal intent will feel a strong urge to rethink their life and call their mother.
So, what are we doing next? Shaking down a leprechaun?
Leprechauns don't deal in cults. I looked into the cloaks our cultists were wearing. They were bought from the same dealer Simon uses.
Were no red flags raised or anything?
Not really. There are a lot of LARPers and cosplayers. The store owner recognized the insignia. Whoever bought the cloaks had them sent to the museum where our victim Douglas Sloan worked.
Did you share any information with Donovan?
I told Donnie that I made some progress. He doesn't really need to know anything, and he probably wouldn't want to know anyway. I made a few calls. We're going to the museum.
Never been a big fan of museums.
You're driving.
Why am I driving?
Because I'm the boss. The assistant drives the boss around. Yesterday was a freebie because you're new.
Well, I haven't been in this city very long. I actually don't know where anything is.
Then this will be a great learning experience.
Faust tosses Abby her keys. Abby fails to catch them and they fall to the ground.
Sorry.
That was supposed to be cool, Abby. You ruined the cool.
Faust gets a phone call. She looks at her phone and sees that it's Donovan.
Go wait in the car.
All right.
Abby leaves, and Faust answers the phone.
Sorry, I haven't found anything new. My assistant and I are going to look into a new lead. I'll call you if we find anything.
Faust hangs up. Interior, police station, day. Donovan smiles as he puts his phone away.
I told you she'd be back.
Interior, museum office, morning. Faust and Abby are sitting in front of a desk. The door opens and Professor Jenkins, man, late 50s, comes in and sits down behind his desk.
You're Detective Faust?
Yes, this is my assistant, Abby. Say hi, Abby.
Hi.
You want to know about Douglas. I heard about his death. Such a loss for us. He was overlooking our new exhibit.
New exhibit?
Yes, the Egyptian Queen Amarit is being loaned to us for the next couple of months.
Abby kicks Faust.
Mommy. Everyone can still hear you, Abby. Sorry. My assistant likes mummies. Don't worry, Abby. You'll have plenty of time to see the mummy when you're not working. How long has the mummy been here?
Only a couple of weeks. The exhibit is supposed to open soon, but with Douglas' death, we've had to set things back.
You two must have been very close. You've been calling him Douglas instead of Dr. Sloan.
Douglas and I had been friends for years. We went to college together. I thought the police closed the case. Why is a private eye interested in this?
I was asked to make sure there weren't any loose ends. Did Dr. Sloan have any enemies?
No. Everyone liked him. I can't think of anyone who'd want to hurt him. Douglas was not a social person. His wife died a few years back. They never had children. He lived his life here. I think the stress of his loss and his work just eventually caught up to him.
I would still like to see his office.
I don't think there's much point, but I'll get you a key. If you'll wait here a moment.
Jenkins leaves the room.
Did you hear him? They have a mummy. That's our culprit. Mummies always leave curses.
Most mummies' curses are just stories and coincidences. Besides, it's only been here a week. Anyway, since you haven't asked me about it, Jenkins was lying.
How do you know? Did you use a spell?
I was a cop. I was also very active in my high school's theater program, and so I can spot a liar and an actor. Our Professor Jenkins is a decent liar, but he's a terrible actor.
You think you murdered Dr. Sloan?
He was at the very least involved.
Jenkins returns and hands Faust a key.
Here you are. I wish you luck in your investigation.
Thank you.
Faust and Abby leave. Jenkins pulls an orb out of his desk. It is the same orb Belle was handling.
The detective knows too much. She will have to be dealt with. We must proceed with my resurrection tonight.
But we don't have enough souls.
We will have to risk it.
I'll get 2 of our servants to deal with them.
Good.
Interior, Douglas Sloane's office, day. Abby and Faust are in an office filled with boxes. Faust is going through all the boxes.
Not relevant, not interesting, not useful.
Boss, can you really do magic?
After your run into Simon, you're turning skeptic again?
I haven't actually seen you use magic. Are you really a wizard, or do you just say you are to look cool?
I'll show you something simple and neat. Get me a glass of water.
Abby leaves. While Abby is gone, Faust makes sure that there are no cameras and that no one can see them. She pulls out her staff. Abby returns with a glass of water.
Forgot the water.
Set it on the desk.
Abby puts the water on the desk.
Water is one of the first things you learn to manipulate as a wizard, or to be more precise, the molecules in water. In order to be a good wizard, you require at least a rudimentary knowledge of how our world works.
Science? I was never very good at science.
Magic is all about bending and shaping reality, and if you don't know what the reactions and consequences of your actions will bring, then you'll end up doing more harm than good.
So if I wanted to do magic, I would need to master calculus and quantum physics.
Only if you wanted to manipulate things on a grand scale or do something needlessly complicated like time travel.
I would just want to be able to throw fireballs and shoot lightning.
Not a great place to start. Now, H2O exists naturally in 3 of the 5 states of matter. As ice, it's a solid. As water, it's a liquid. And as water vapor, it is a gas. It changes between these 3 states freely, and as long as you're working with a small amount, there's no danger.
Way to channel that high school chemistry class.
Despite what books and movies tell us, you don't actually need an incantation to do magic. Well, wizards don't.
Faust closes her eyes and points at the water with her staff. The staff flashes, and the water freezes.
That was amazing!
We're not done yet.
Faust closes her eyes again and points her staff at the cup. The staff glows again, and the ice turns back into water and then evaporates.
Satisfied?
Yes. Wait, if I say no, will you do something else?
We've looked through everything. Let's go back to the office.
Exterior, museum, day. Faust and Abby are getting into Faust's car. In the distance, 2 hooded cultists are watching them from their car. They follow Faust and Abby. Interior, Faust's office, night. Abby and Faust are standing in front of a big board. On it are pictures of the victims. Jenkins' name spelled out, Simon's pictures, and red string tying them all together. Faust and Abby are both drinking coffee.
Our victims don't have a direct connection with either Dr. Sloan or the museum. What our victims have in common is that they were living alone and had a few living relatives. They were people no one would miss. Our perps wanted to stay unnoticed.
You haven't done a good job of that.
They probably didn't know about me. Stealing essence isn't easy. For regular humans, it's quite powerful magic.
So, but they have a wizard?
I'm the last wizard. Wizards aren't the only people who can use magic. Wizardry is just a type of magic and a school of thought.
Faust looks at Simon's pictures of the cultists.
So we're gonna have to fight an army of fireball shooting cultists.
If they could all use magic, they wouldn't have needed so many people to hold down Sloan, and they would have taken his essence as soon as he was pinned down. The man bending down here with the bottle, my bet is that's Jenkins. He's probably the only one with any magic in the cult.
Why do you think Jenkins killed Dr. Sloan?
Jenkins was genuinely upset about Sloan's death. The best I can come up with is that Sloan figured out what Jenkins was up to, and because of that, Jenkins murdered him.
And what was Jenkins up to?
I don't know.
Do you think it had something to do with the mummy?
Possibly. Sloan was overseeing it.
Usually, in these kind of stories, isn't the cult trying to resurrect their god or something like that? Maybe they want to bring the mummy to life.
Human essence could reanimate a dead corpse, but putting someone else's essence into a body would just make it a zombie.
Zombies are also real? I'd rather fight zombies than cultists. I could actually bring myself to kill a zombie.
To be resurrected, you would have to find another vessel for your essence to be stored in so that someone could put your essence back into your body, but that wouldn't need more than that. You would only need more than one soul if you were trying to resurrect a god or demon.
Didn't the Egyptians believe that their rulers were gods?
Way to channel your 5th grade world history class, Abby. Yes, that is true, but they weren't gods. The pharaohs and their families were just normal people. At most, maybe a few of them knew some magic.
Is it possible that one of them put their mind in another vessel to be revived later, like you were talking about earlier?
The problem is that you couldn't afford to leave your body dead for very long.
Oh, because bodies decompose after they die?
Yes, and the brain cells are among the very first things to go.
But aren't Egyptians' mummified remains really well preserved?
Yes, but not preserved enough. Also, mummies had their brains removed during the mummification process as well as other organs. You couldn't even make a zombie out of them.
So, what is this cult trying to accomplish?
I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. You can't use human essence for anything unless you feed off it like a vampire.
I don't think I've seen or read a story where mummies fed on souls.
A vampire could survive having its brain and organs removed because it doesn't need them. Their bodies die as soon as they change. Vampires live entirely off of essence. Simon may not be the last vampire after all.
Faust dashes for the door. Abby comes after her.
Abby, you stay here. Simon couldn't hurt you because he's afraid of me. You will not be under the same protection this time.
Where are you going?
The museum. I'm going to destroy that mummy. I can't take any chances. Do you know how to use a gun?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a gun in the drawer, it's loaded and the safety's off. Keep it close just in case.
Exterior, Faust's office, night. Faust gets into her car and drives off. Cultist number 1, a young man, and cultist number 2, a young woman, emerge from the dark and head towards the door. Cultist number 1 pulls out a phone.
The detective's left. The assistant is alone. Understood.
Cultist number 1 puts away the phone.
Are we supposed to kill her?
No. A leader wants to harvest her soul.
Interior, Faust's office, night. Abby is sitting in Faust's chair and cradling the gun. She finishes a glass of water. She leaves the gun on the desk as she goes to the sink to refill her cup. Abby fills the cup and then pours the water down the drain.
Freeze.
Nothing happens.
Because I don't have any magic.
The door creaks open. Abby hears this and runs back to the desk. She picks up the gun and points it at the door. There is only darkness. Abby crosses the room and closes the door while keeping the gun pointed at the entrance. After the door is closed, Abby relaxes and sits back down in the chair.
Screw this, I'm not gonna wait around.
Abby gathers her things and heads out the door, still holding the gun. Exterior, Faust's office, night. Cultist number 1 and cultist number 2 are breathing loudly as Abby exits the building, gets into her car, and drives off.
What happened back there?
I don't know. I just suddenly started thinking about, like, where my life has been going. What are we doing?
I don't know. But I started thinking about my mom. She'd be so ashamed of me right now if she knew what I was doing.
That's so weird. I just thought about my mom. I haven't called her in months.
Care about the ultimate power anymore? Jamie, I love you.
What?
Let's quit this stupid cult and go away and start over, just the two of us. Would you want to do that?
For the first time in years, Rick, I think we're both thinking clearly.
Cultist number 1 and cultist number 2 remove their hoods and kiss. They then get into their car and drive off into the moonlight, throwing their phones out the window. Interior, museum, night. Light surrounds the door as it opens without raising any alarms. Faust walks in with her staff raised and pointed. She closes her eyes and takes in a large breath of air. Interior, museum security room, night. Jenkins is looking at a video monitor as Faust walks through the museum. He has 4 bottles filled with the essence of his victims. He is holding the orb with Amarit's spirit.
She's here. How'd she do that? She used magic.
Then you must put me back into my body now.
We should run. Find a place where she can't find us. You won't be at your full strength with just 4 souls.
4 souls will have to be enough. We don't have much time. It won't be long before she finds us. Hurry!
Exterior, museum, night. Abby drives up and gets out of the car. She sees the open door and readies the gun. Interior, museum, storeroom, night. Faust finds her way to the storeroom. The orb is lying on the mummy's breast with the 4 bottles of human essence surrounding the body. Jenkins turns around and sees Faust pointing her staff at him.
You're too late. I've already finished.
The bottles empty and shatter. The essence inside them enters the mummy. The mummy gets up and shuffles around the room. Faust's staff glows. Jenkins gets between Faust and the mummy.
Whatever she's promised you is a lie. As soon as she returns to her full strength and doesn't need you, she'll kill you.
I'm not a mere mortal anymore. Amarit has shown me the way. Silentium!
Jenkins' hands glow. He waves them, and Faust's body flashes.
You won't be able to use magic if you can't speak your incantations.
Faust stabs the ground with her staff. Jenkins' body flashes. She whirls her finger and Jenkins' spell on her shatters.
Don't need incantations for my spells, but you obviously do, so I took care of that.
Jenkins tries to speak, but no words come out. Faust hits him with her staff, and he falls to the ground.
Now where's that mummy?
Right here.
Amarit's face is exposed, revealing bat-like features similar to Simon. The rest of her body is covered in wrappings.
A vampire of your stature would need at least about 10 or 20 souls to be at their peak. You're only able to get 4.
I think you mean 6.
Amarit opens her mouth. and both Faust and Jenkins' essence start to leave their bodies. Jenkins wakes up and realizes the betrayal. Faust slams her staff on the ground. A light envelops the room, and their essence goes back into their bodies.
No, I'm pretty sure I mean 4.
What did you do?
I bound our essence to our blood. If you want it, you're going to have to get it the old-fashioned way.
Amarit's eyes shift around the room.
A vampire disguised as a mummy. Hilarious. I'm going to kill you.
You're the wizard. The last wizard. She told me about you. I didn't think you'd find me this quickly.
Who told you about me?
Amarit turns into bats and flies towards Faust. Faust uses her staff to send sonic frequencies into the air. The bats stumble into each other. Amarit reforms into her body on the ground, holding her ears.
Well, that was pointless. Before I kill that body of yours, you can put your mind back in that orb if you want. I'll put it someplace no one will ever find it. I might be nice, though, if you answer my question. Who told you about me?
Amarit turns her hand into bats, which fly towards Faust. Faust releases the sonic waves into the air again. Amarit rushes forward with the rest of her body, grabs Faust's staff, and kicks her. Faust lets go of her staff and flies across the room and hits the wall. Amarit reforms her other arm and breaks the staff.
I could not answer your question even if I wanted to. I swore an oath. In exchange for my silence, my benefactor made sure that Jenkins found me, and he was a perfect, foolish minion. You want to know what happened to me?
Not really.
My own subjects turned on me because of a wizard. The one who trapped me in that orb was much stronger than you. She defeated me when I was at my prime. I used to be so powerful. With you out of the way, I will reclaim my rightful place, and I will rule with an iron...
Amarit is splashed by water, which then encapsulates her in ice. Abby runs over to Faust and helps her up.
That woman would just not shut up. Are you okay?
Abby, you used magic. That's incredible.
I'm actually a little freaked out about that. I mean, I have this gun, but in the movies that never works. I thought maybe throwing water on her would melt her or distract her long enough for me to come and get you. And then I started thinking about what you said about water molecules, and then I froze her. I tried to do it in your office, but I couldn't. Why was I able to do it this time?
The ice surrounding Amarit is cracking.
I'll explain later. Give me the gun.
Amarit's head breaks out and she screams. Abby gives Faust the gun. Faust shoots Amarit, shattering her body. Amarit's head is still screaming as it rolls away.
The gun actually worked.
There's a first time for everything. After her. Don't let him get away.
Amarit's head turns into bats and flies off.
She got away.
So? I'm just saying, she's not really that dangerous anymore, is she?
Well, she can regenerate her body. She's going to have to drink blood for essence. She can still promise favors. With time, she could be a real problem.
Well, you'll find her before that happens. Look at her. Now, you need to get out of here.
I have something I need to do first.
Faust walks over to Jenkins. She picks him up and shakes him down. Jenkins is moving his mouth, but no sound is coming out. Faust puts him down. She then picks up a piece of her staff, undoes her spell, and tosses the broken remnant of her staff aside.
She betrayed me. I killed my best friend for her, and she didn't care. How am I supposed to live with myself?
Here's what you're going to do. You're going to disband your little cult, and you're going to turn yourself in for all the people you killed. I don't care what story you use.
Jenkins is crying.
I'll do it.
Good. Let's go, Abby.
Abby picks up the pieces of Faust's staff.
Don't bother. I have 3 more of those at the office and another 3 at my apartment.
Exterior, rooftop, night. Amarit's head is on a rooftop overlooking the city.
You may have defeated me this day, wizards, but I'll be back, and I'll have my revenge.
Amarit's head is lifted off the ground. Simon is holding it.
What have we here? I guess I'm not the last vampire in existence.
You're one of my kind? Let us join forces. Together we can beat the wizards.
I'm sorry. Did you just say wizards, as in plural?
The wizard's apprentice uses magic and froze me.
I see. Interesting.
The apprentice is still weak. She will not be a problem. I was caught off guard. Next time I won't be.
The sun is rising. Simon backs up to keep out of the sun's rays.
Yeah, there isn't going to be a next time. You see, I have this curse that keeps me from feeding as I like. That means that I'll be at a disadvantage and probably end up as your servant. And the truth is, I would rather be alone than be anyone's servant.
Simon throws Amarit's head into the sunlight. It explodes. Amarit is dead. Simon flees from the coming sun. Act 6. Interior, Faust's office, day. Faust, Abby, and Donovan are in Faust's office. Abby has her first aid kit out and is tending to Faust's minor injuries.
You know, I would have never pegged a man like Professor Jenkins as a murderer.
It's always the quiet ones.
You did good work, Faust. You know, if you ever want to come back, I can probably make that happen.
Thanks, Donnie, but I'm happy where I am.
It's a good thing your assistant has a first aid kit. I thought you'd call 911 if you had any problems.
This is cheaper.
It's good to have someone watching your back, isn't it?
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Take care of yourself.
Donovan leaves.
So what was the nickname he gave you?
What?
When we were at the coffee shop the other day, you mentioned that he gave you a nickname. What was it?
It was Faust. My real name is Amelia Davis. I changed it because I thought Faust was more befitting a wizard.
It is a pretty cool name. What does it mean?
It's from an old story. I'll tell you about it sometime. I've got to go.
Where are you going?
Just running an errand. See you soon. Don't clean anything.
Faust leaves the office. Interior, Simon's lair, day. Simon is sitting in his chair. Faust walks into the room.
You usually phone Ryan when you're coming. Are you here to thank me?
I got your message. Thanks for finishing off Amarit, but I know you didn't kill her out of a sense of compassion.
What does it matter to you? You got what you wanted.
I suppose I did.
Amarit told me about Abby's magic. Are you going to teach her?
I'm the last wizard and you're the last vampire. The era of magic ended a long time ago. It doesn't belong in this world anymore.
Amarit is just the beginning. You're going to need all the help you can get.
Are you offering your help?
Not if I don't have to. Train the girl and she'll be a great asset.
Why do you care if I succeed or fail? Makes your life easier if I die and the monsters come back.
Because of your predecessor's curse, the only way for me to be the top monster is to be the only monster.
Abby doesn't know what she's getting into. She doesn't know the responsibility she'd be taking on.
You need an apprentice, Faust. The old ones are not dead, just lost and forgotten. They are going to make one last push before long.
Abby used magic once, she can do it again. It's my responsibility to help her control it, to keep her from accidentally hurting anyone.
So that she doesn't make the same mistake you did? Goodbye, Faust.
Interior, Faust's office, day. Faust comes back into the office. Everything is organized.
Sorry, I just couldn't help myself.
You saved my life, Abby. Thank you.
It's just an accident. I've tried to do it again, but I can't. You still haven't explained why I was able to do it back there.
They say that seeing is believing, but that's not true. You may know that magic exists, but you have to believe that you can do it in order to be able to use it. In that moment when you froze Amarit, you put your doubt away and believed. And Abby, that's not something many people can do. I can help you. I want to teach you. I want you to be more than my assistant. I want you to be my apprentice.
Do you accept? Yes. Yes, I accept. Can I get a raise?
I don't have enough money for that.
Fair enough. I guess magic's its own reward.
It's not fun and games, Abby. This is a serious responsibility.
Responsibilities can be fun, right?
We'll start your training tomorrow. For now, let's enjoy our victory.
Karaoke?
No! Let's just go get a drink somewhere.
Am I driving?
Yes, and I'll buy. Go ahead. I'll be down in a bit.
Abby smiles and leaves. Faust looks at the office.
Gotta hand it to her. The place does look nice.
Stinger. Interior, cave. Mephisto, a young man in a robe, is looking at Faust and Abby through a crystal ball.
Mistress Gretchen, the girl may be a problem.
Gretchen, an elderly witch covered in a robe that conceals all but her long white hair and bony hands, comes out of the shadows and approaches the crystal ball.
Well, Mephisto, now we both have apprentices. It seems that the universe does enjoy there being balance. Still, this was unforeseen. I don't like that. Shouldn't be a huge problem. Soon, Faust, soon you will know my fury and the power of the old ones.
Gretchen waves her hand, and the image in the ball vanishes.
I'm still too weak. I will have to rest. Keep watching them, Mephisto. Keep me informed.
Mephisto bows as Gretchen leaves for her chamber to rest. The end.